I'm either very, very wrong about BSV or I'm extremely right, fuckers. So you better do your homework. And if you're gonna criticize me and Bitcoin's original design and scaling on chain and creating smart contracts on original protocol, you better understand this fucking subject better than me. I'm just letting you know, because I understand the small blocker perspective like the back of my hand, bro. Actually, my boys at the Nakamoto Institute actually pretty much formulated all those damn arguments, like Daniel Krawitz and all those cats. So I understand that shit very well. I understand Monero very well. But if you're gonna talk to me and you're gonna argue the big blocker perspective, bro, you better come with a very well-educated understanding of what I mean and when we talk about Bitcoin being Turing complete and the fact that we never needed Ethereum. What up, Vigilantes? I'm here with Yash. How you doing, Yash?
Good. How are you?
So this is a Dollar Vigilante right here. Shout out to Jeff Berwick and Ed Bugos, the OG Dollar Vigilantes. And you're a subscriber to the Dollar Vigilante, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right, so we're at the Young Americans for Liberty conference, and you're telling me that you're starting to tell me your story in crypto. Tell me about how did you get in crypto? How did you get involved?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, the story kind of starts back in 2008, 2009, and it starts with Ron Paul.
Bro, that's freaking awesome, man.
Starts with Ron Paul.
OG in the house, baby.
Yeah. I mean, and the crash happened, and it was like... Dude,
what crash? From $30 to $3? Is that one? Or
No, not in crypto. I mean, it starts with
the big
housing.
Housing crash.
It started with that, and I'm like, yo, what is going on? This doesn't make sense. And I started learning about, the Fed. I started learning about what money is, and how it works, how the world works. And back then, I was actually like a gold bug guy. I became, big into silver. But slowly I evolved into learning about crypto, Bitcoin. And, 2016 started buying, bought ETH and Bitcoin and just accumulated over time. And then in 2019, December of 2019 is when Hex launched. And I had been following Richard Hart. My understanding of economics, I thought that was a good opportunity. And so I sold out on Bitcoin and ETH over about a year. Went into Hex, and that's pretty much where I'm at.
Bro, it's not every day that I talk to a crypto OG, and I only know like me and Jeff probably as the like old people have been around, because most people go dark. They don't talk. They don't go on camera.
Well, I'm 2016, so that's not really OG, but
Wow,
I know the crypto cycle pretty well.
So okay, a lot of people talk about bear markets.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I agree. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're in a bear market. I understand the cycle. But part of me is like, bro, you just got in. That's why you feel the pain.
Yeah.
But for a guy that like you, I'm pretty sure you're like, oh, $20,000. That's still pretty high for me, right?
Yeah. I mean, bear markets. I think I have a different approach. Because Bitcoin, when I first got in, it was the long-term proposition. I wasn't looking at the short-term.
Same here.
And so I think it's all about your perspective.
Right.
And so, I saw it go from, I started buying in the 400s, saw it go up to, 20,000 at the top, and then it crashed, right? And then we had that bear market, and I just held, and I was okay with it because I knew it would recover. So even now at 20,000 or 23 or whatever it is, like these cycles of 70% down, 85% down, they happen all the time. It's nothing new. If you look at the history, this is what happens.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's a buying opportunity,
Right.
If you know what you're doing and you're looking towards a future for yourself, you understand the economics, micro, macro, like any dip is a good, well, granted, you have to pick the right one. You have to know what you're doing, because most cryptos go to zero.
Right on.
So you got to be smart about it, but yeah, it's a buying opportunity for sure.
Okay, so crypto has issues, and we're at the Young Americans for Liberty conference, and we live in a world that every day becomes more draconian. There's more surveillance. Now we're starting to see that they're using blockchain analytics to make the most popular protocols and blockchains transparent for mass surveillance.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm an anarchist, so I believe in self-sovereignty and liberty. I know these things are controversial these days. It might put you on some watch lists or something, but no, I don't. I know it's happening and it's disgusting, and there's really nothing, practically speaking, that can be done to stop it, other than just making the best decisions for yourself, and trying to protect yourself, your family. As far as like, it's an ebb and flow. So as much as they do stuff, the market has a response for it, right? And so if you're really concerned with anonymity, you want to be you want to try to stay away from surveillance. Like, there are options like Monero, for example. Monero is not perfect, but if used the right way, it works. I mean, there was a bug that they found, which if you sent money within an hour, your transactions weren't anonymous, and so that bug's been patched up and things are much better. But it's these systems are evolving, and so
Exactly.
yeah, and so there's an ebb and flow.
For sure.
Yeah.
One thing I love about the Monero community,
Yeah.
when you talk to a Monero person, most people in crypto, they want to tell you how great their cryptocurrency is.
Yeah.
But when you talk to like real privacy OGs, real privacy enthusiasts, especially the Monero community, they're quick to tell you what possible vulnerabilities they
Yeah.
see in Monero.
Yeah.
That's how humble they are.
Yeah. That's good.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
amazing, bro.
yeah,
that
yeah.
culture
Yeah.
is amazing.
You won't get that from a maxi.
No, you won't.
And I'm not gonna call out names, but like there are maxi groups we can imagine that they have this idea or mantra that no, this is perfect. There's nothing breakable about
Yeah,
this.
that's
and blah, blah,
bullshit.
blah. And it's
Yeah.
not. It's not good. It's not good. It's just bad risk management.
It really is. And so I've even said that when I go to a Monero conference or I hang out with Monero people, I feel as if I'm almost entering like a cathedral, bro, like a monastery. Because all these guys, all these women, they're so, it's almost like they're honoring mathematics and so it's just beautiful, the purity of intention behind it. And they're more concerned with letting you know what the possible vulnerabilities are in Monero and in the FOSS ethos than to tell you how great Monero is.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give a fuck to tell you about how Monero is great. They're not there to do that.
Yeah.
They're there to tell you how Monero could possibly, what the possible risk may be in the future and what they're doing to circumvent, to navigate, to try to get ahead of anything in the future that may make the network vulnerable. It's amazing, dude. That mindset is very unique in crypto.
Yeah.
And the Monero community really is very strong about that.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, at the Crypto Vigilante, they're our favorite community.
Yeah,
It's not even about the technology.
Okay.
It's about the network of investors and contributors around it that watch out for one another. Because for us, that really is what like holds a network together in crypto. It's really that network of investors that invest in one another, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, community is a big thing in crypto. There's lots of communities, and then there's the crypto community at large. Tribalism is definitely something that's human nature. It happens. But I'm also attracted to good communities, and I think that's what's made me successful. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you around for the Bitcoin Civil War?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Bitcoin Cash.
Oh yeah,
BTC.
Yeah, the hard fork. Yeah.
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 That was rough for the crypto space.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I think after
Where did you fall in that? If you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking.
I mean,
I was a big blocker all the way. I still am.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at the profit. I knew where the money was going to go, so I was on the Bitcoin side.
BTC.
BTC
So
side, yeah,
why did you know the profit was going that way? Because at the time there was a toss up, dude. You had like Jeff Garzik, you had Gavin, Mike Hearn. You had a lot of the guys that Gavin Andreessen. He was left in charge by Satoshi himself of the Bitcoin repository. So like, and he's a big blocker. Mike Hearn,
Yeah.
a big blocker.
Yeah.
So like, how did he know that the money was going to go that way?
Well, so my assessment was, in a sense, BCH was like an airdrop, and most airdrops that are given for free tend to go to zero. And so just kind of having that was probably my main analysis of that, is that it was basically an airdrop, and it was going to get sold. And BCH is, it's actually has way more adoption in the sense of being used as money. Like Roger Ver posts, videos and makes like Twitter stuff about it, or on TikTok, of him actually using BCH. And when you increase the velocity of money, the price goes down, right? So that understanding, I just assumed that it wasn't going to perform the way BTC did.
So I was my idea at the time, and it's still to this day, was that Bitcoin Cash and BTC ultimately wanted to be Monero, both of them.
Okay.
So because they both want to be digital gold, digital cash, and in order to be digital gold, digital cash, you have to be fungible at the protocol level. So that was my mindset. I'm like, because I saw Monero and the birth of Monero as almost like a lot of the early Bitcoin community went to Monero because they said, well, what BTC wants to create, what Bitcoin Cash want to create, what they're both fighting for, it's never going to be accomplished fully on any of the Bitcoin protocol. It has to be Monero. It has to be something that starts from scratch, that is private by default. So that was my immediate, like, okay.
Well, so I don't see that hard fork having very much to do with security, though, or well, maybe not security, but anonymity.
I 100% agree with you. Like, for me, I was, when it came to Bitcoin, I fell on the extreme big blocker side.
Okay.
BSV.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, so I was on the other.
I
So
got you.
for me,
Yeah.
I ask myself,
Yeah.
well, if they want to turn Bitcoin into if they want to focus on the coin aspect of Bitcoin with Bitcoin Cash and BTC, and we see that the best implementation of that is to really start all over again with Monero, then what the heck did Satoshi give us? And what he gave us, in my opinion, at the time and still to today, was like he gave us much more. He gave us a programming language, a smart contract language, the Bitcoin script, meaning that Bitcoin is Turing complete. And there's been a lot of arguments out there. I can put it in the link below of how Bitcoin's Turing complete. In other words, we never needed an Ethereum. We could do smart contracts on the original Bitcoin protocol. And so that has always been like, well, if Satoshi did not give us a private by default blockchain, then what did he give us? And so it is that like question that really bothered me.
Okay.
Why are we getting away from the bit aspect of Bitcoin, which is computational power, and to create smart contracts on the blockchain and data on chain and applications on chain? And why are we just focusing and fighting about the coin aspect of Bitcoin if we know, and Roger Ver would agree with us, Blockstream guys would agree with us, that Monero is the better fucking alternative? So what did Satoshi give us? And so for me, until this day, I've always been, and there's contention at the Crypto Vigilante about this, between me and the other analysts at the Crypto Vigilante, because I'm like, well, then there's a place for us to experiment with on-chain scaling in the Bitcoin protocol Satoshi gave us. And that's why I'm pro BSV. To this day, I'm like, I'm not saying BSV's private. I'm not saying BSV is something else completely fucking different that deserves a place for us. And I know it's the most hated fucking place in crypto because of Craig Wright.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there was something there. What was it? And I want to mess with it. Why is it? What is it that is this Bitcoin alternative form of scaling where we scale on chain and we give miners complete autonomy to scale to enterprise level, where entrepreneurs can jump in and use the Bitcoin miners as the back end of their business? So that whole world is something that I always wanted to mess with, and that's what I mess with on the side. But I'm all about privacy. I'm all about focusing on pure digital gold, digital cash. And that's why we champion, privacy coins, right?
Yeah.
So that's yeah. So I think a lot of the crypto space did not expect me to like have this perspective regarding BSV, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But we're not a safe space at the Crypto Vigilante. We're a brave space. We're a brave space, and we're free to think and tinker with whatever the fuck we want. And so we are okay with disagreeing with each other.
Right.
We don't all have to agree with one another, because that's what happened, man. You were talking about you said the word having
No? Okay.
different silos in crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Different silos and
Yeah.
different having different
Tribalism.
Tribalism
Yeah.
is the word.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is good.
It's just human nature, though. Like, you're never going to avoid it. Like, it's
Right.
ingrained into us from, hundred thousands of years.
Right.
It's like, it's not going away. But I think there are silo busters. There's people that have breakthroughs. And, I don't know if you heard Zuby talk earlier today, but he gave a really good presentation on how to communicate with people and bringing down those barriers. And there's kind of like even, if you disagree with somebody, you can definitely go your own way. But there are other ways to kind of like find some common ground. And in crypto, we have a lot of common ground. There's a reason why we're here. So like, why are we splitting hairs and just, shutting people out? Now, if you get to the point where, you're totally going to disagree with the person and you have like hard, stance, like fine, go your own way. But you should still be able to have a conversation. I mean, I've had conversations this weekend with people that I disagree with, but they gave me some perspective. So
Right.
I think it's good. I've always been a supporter of civil discourse. I think that's how you grow as a person. So I'm all about that. But there's a way to go about it, Yeah.
So the way that I envision crypto in my mind is that this is a brand new asset class, and just like if we were to discover precious metals for the first time, we'd be like, well, this is what gold is, this is what silver is, and these are the use cases for each.
Yeah, different properties, and
It's the same thing with crypto and all of the different properties offered by these different protocols.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you be mad at a hammer for not screwing as good as a screwdriver?
Yeah.
You
sure.
see what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, they're just
They're
different
purpose.
tools,
Yeah.
right? And what I tell people is, look, if you are someone that needs privacy in your life, well, maybe you should use a privacy coin. But if you're someone that doesn't need it...
And so, like, another privacy-wise, you can, if somebody's living on Ethereum, right? Let's say they're big on Ethereum, there's things like Tornado.cash, which they're mixers, right?
Right.
And it's not necessarily like privacy in the sense that you're trying to hide your, maybe you are, but, that you're trying to do illicit things, or you're trying to, get away from some illegal activity or something. That's not the case. Like, let's say you're paying, 10 people, and, the other 9 people shouldn't have to know what you're getting paid, because blockchain is transparent in that sense, right? And so a mixer is very good in that regard, where if you need to pay out employees or something, you use a mixer. Yes, it costs you, transaction fees, and you have to pay for the protocol, but that's a solution, and that gives you some anonymity,
So Daniel Kim, are you familiar with Dr. Daniel Kim? Shout out to Dr. Daniel Kim.
No,
dude, he's
I'm not.
a badass.
Okay.
Dude, watch his videos, his presentations. He's a fucking badass. He gives the example of family offices, because he works with family offices and high net worth individuals. And he talks about how when they realize that Bitcoin and Ethereum are transparent ledgers, they pull back. Because for him, he says that a family office, or when you manage a fund, you have your secret sauce in how you invest. It's just like Coca-Cola has its secret sauce, right? So
Cocaine.
Yeah. So you want to if you manage a portfolio, you want to get away from any sort of financial voyeurism.
Yeah.
So he finds that a lot of family offices are eager for something like Monero all the time.
Yeah.
And he's a very interesting guy, because he comes from like the Ivy League background. He's a violinist. The guy he's got a graduate degree in physics, MBA. Like, this guy's just, and he works top notch in many fields. And Sweetwater Consulting is his firm, and his thing is that he sees it very hard for a lot of money to come into crypto knowing that they're using transparent ledgers. I was sitting at a bar about a week ago, and I showed someone how easy it is to do blockchain analytics. I followed it was a $1.2 million BTC transaction back to a whirlpool.
Yeah.
And I understood it was a whirlpool setup because it was obvious. And I did it from a phone at a bar while being tipsy.
Yeah.
So that's how open and transparent these blockchains are, which is, in a sense, kind of freaky, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, people don't care about privacy anymore, and so even the market decides that, right? In some sense, and people know TikTok is notorious for taking people's privacy, but they don't care. They know what their information that's getting out there. That if you have a free service, it's really not free. Your data is being used as currency. And so as far as the market at large, I don't think the market really cares too much. And that's why, Monero hasn't taken, price-wise, it's, it does well. It does well. But it's not, it's not talked about. It's not in the top 10. I don't think it's in the top 10 anymore, actually.
It's not.
It's not, yeah. It was at once upon a time. But so I think that naturally happens. Now, on a personal level, I wish there was something that had mass adoption, that the price performance was amazing, and there was privacy and anonymity. That'd be great. But either it hasn't been developed or discovered yet, or the market doesn't value that. So I don't know what the perfect answer is.
Or it's being suppressed. Because
Well,
there has been a lot of, it's not definitive, but there has been a lot of allegations that there has been price suppression of Monero.
Okay.
So, does that happen? Sure, that can happen.
Okay.
Has it happened? We don't know 100%, but we do know that we have seen initiatives within the Monero community where there has been a big push to move money out of the exchanges. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the price goes up. So, who knows? Maybe.
People are holding then, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't don't leave your money on an exchange.
Never.
We've already seen way too many rug pulls and hacks this bear cycle, and it happens every bear cycle. It happens during the bull cycle too, but it's amplified in the bear cycle. So get your own wallet, have your private words, your seed words, write them down, put them on a titanium ledger, whatever you want to do, a hard wallet, just do something. Cold wallet, whatever you want. Do something. Make that decision for yourself.
Every bull run in crypto comes with a new flavor of something. ICOs, NFTs, DeFi. What do you imagine being in the future? It's not going to stop. I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something new that the market is going to discover and play with.
Well, I think the next bull cycle is going to have, for lack of a better branding, NFT 2.0, right? NFTs this cycle was basically just like playing hot potato. It was a lot of speculation. People just, it was a new craze. A lot of people that know nothing about crypto got in just for the NFTs. They don't understand them. And most of them go to zero, so it's very highly speculative. But there are other use cases that are developing. There are some tokenomics that you can, use NFTs to kind of encapsulate with. Obviously, there's influencers that use NFTs to provide value, and all sorts of other things that I don't even know of yet. But I think that market's going to mature much better. Beyond that, we have much larger investments in. We just heard BlackRock, I think, brokered a deal with Coinbase. I think that's what the deal. BlackRock brokered a deal with some major company. I think it was Coinbase. Don't quote me on that, but
I don't follow the lizards closely.
The lizards. But after that happened, I think Coinbase's stock jumped 10%, right? And so now you have these big players, right? And we know what BlackRock has done and what they do. So they have influence, right? And those types of players are now in the game. And I think that's what we have to watch for. I think up until about this last cycle, we were kind of sheltered from that type of, those types of investors. So it's going to be a different playing field that we'll have to navigate in that sense.
There's so much that I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Because it's not every day that I encounter an OG like yourself.
I wouldn't say I'm an OG, but I try to be well informed at least.
You're at least very brave to be in front of a camera, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, well,
because you're showing that confidence that comes with experience in crypto.
Okay.
And thank you for being in front of the camera and expressing your thoughts, because that's very important, I think, for people to see.
Yeah.
It's important to understand. I think when you understand crypto on a fundamental level, the bullshit just goes out the window.
Yeah.
And sure, you may follow technical analysis, because technical analysis is very important
Yeah.
to get an objective read on the market, but it's not like you understand. If you grow a lower time preference.
Yeah.
And for that, I
I'm
appreciate.
more on the fundamental side,
For sure.
And you can't go without either of them. You have to be aware of both. I think the fundamentals keep me grounded. I'm not a day trader, so that's not my problem. But it's nice to be able to look at a chart and see some patterns.
So I'll share a story with you real
Yeah.
quick. It was 2012, and I was buying my first VPN with Bitcoin. I was really excited. I was at a coffee shop in Austin, Texas called Halcyon. Shout out to Halcyon, 5th and La Vaca, baby. So I was there chilling, and I overheard some guys talk about crypto in the chair next to me, in the table next to me. I went up to them and started talking to them. Turns out these guys were very early Bitcoin adopters.
Yeah.
Early. And they were jaded. They were pissed off. And they were kind of like, fuck Bitcoin. I don't want to talk to me about that. And Bitcoin at the time was like $12, $19.
Okay.
And I asked them, why are you mad?
Yeah.
They're mad because they sold at 15 cents.
Okay. Of course. Everybody's like that. It's happening right now.
Bro, okay,
People
man.
buying the top and then selling the bottom, and then they're mad at you.
That happens all the time at the Crypto Vigilante. Tell me, man,
it is.
people don't read.
Yeah.
We put out research because we sell research.
People want to get rich quick, and that's a lot of people. That's why they
Well,
get
bro,
it.
you need to at least read. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not hard to read if you're paying for a service of what the fuck these guys saying. At least read what we got to say, right?
Yeah.
So don't just read the headline. But these guys, so that just goes to show you how, how people with a high time preference tend to be very short-sighted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's I experienced this again in this past cycle, or in this cycle that's maybe nearing a bottom. I don't know. But people bought the top. They thought they were going to get rich quick, and then they would flip it and they would buy a Lambo, and or they go to a club and throw lots of money like that. That's what they were.
Fuck a Lambo, get a tractor, grow your own food.
So, yeah, I mean, that happens. It's, again, human nature. And it's people that don't understand and they don't ask enough questions. And they see somebody else. So what happens a lot is if you grow up with a group of people, right, they're your boys or whatever, and but you start asking questions, and even though you're still growing up with them, you're kind of going on a different path, right? But to them, you're still the same person that they see you as, right? And then a couple years go by, and you made some different choices, and then those choices panned out, right? And you do well for yourself. And not that there's any animosity between you, but they don't see you for the person you're becoming necessarily. They see you as your boy that you guys all grew up together. For me, I tried telling as many people as that would listen to me back in the last, not even this cycle, but the one before it,
right.
2016, 17. And at the time, it was like, oh, Bitcoin's a joke, it's a Ponzi,
right.
The whole narrative. Same
When
thing.
did you start telling your friends about Bitcoin? At what price?
20, as soon as
So what was the lowest price you told maybe a family member or a friend, get in?
Probably around 600.
Wow.
600. Yeah.
Dude, I told my
Yeah,
buddies
'cause I
around
bought at
19,
400,
man.
And then I started, I like telling people, as soon as I get something, I'm very vocal about it. And I was like that with, the Liberty Movement, with Ron Paul and the Fed, interventionist policies, everything. I've always been very vocal about it. My friends know that about me. And so when I know something or I think is something to be true, I have to speak my truth.
Man, God bless you, man.
Yeah, I try
Thank
to
you
do
for doing that, man.
Yeah.
And lucky for those to have you around, to have a friend like you that speaks their, that researches. And
They're coming around now.
I bet they listen to you now, don't they?
Yeah. The money talks,
That's right. So, okay, that's one thing that I think, Jeff, Ed, and I, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
People don't give a fuck about freedom,
Yeah,
Austrian
yeah,
economics,
yeah.
unless they see you prospering.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like a way to keep score,
Right.
Like, they're not going to like you if you're the worst team in the NBA, but if you put up points and, you're fun about it, like you're the Golden State Warriors, you're running up and down, there's, like, dunks and there's three-pointers, like, yeah, that's what people want to see,
Wow, man.
It's like the gladiators arena, you got to put on a show for the people.
Dude, there is a new wave of Bitcoiners that just came in during this last cycle, and they are gun-ho maximalists.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because look, man, they're using arguments that I used 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Telling me
yeah.
I'm wrong, I'm like, bro.
Yeah. What I would say, it's like when you escape the matrix for the first time, right? You think you have all the answers, right? Because you just went through this huge epiphany, right? You had this huge breakthrough, and you think now you know it all. But then you're going to learn that there's a few other layers to the matrix. There's a few more inceptions you're going to go through.
Oh, shit is there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I think that's maybe why people become these maxis until their worldview is again broken, right? And they find out, oh, they're still dreaming. And then they go to another level, Maybe
I'm
it's that.
either very, very wrong about BSV or I'm extremely right, fuckers. So you better do your homework. And if you're going to criticize me and Bitcoin's original design and scaling on chain and creating smart contracts on the original protocol, you better understand this fucking subject better than me if you're going to have a conversation with me about it. I'm just letting you know. Because I understand the small blocker perspective like the back of my hand, bro. Actually, my boys at the Nakamoto Institute actually pretty much formulated all those damn arguments, like Daniel Krawitz and all those cats. So I understand that shit very well. I understand Monero very well. But if you're going to talk to me and you're going to argue the big blocker perspective, bro, you better come with a very well-educated understanding of what I mean and when we talk about Bitcoin being Turing complete and the fact that we never needed Ethereum. Okay, now that was a commercial break. Back to the conversation. So yeah, dude. There's a shit ton of inceptions.
Yeah.
Dude, there's this project that is like, I call it alien technology in crypto.
Okay.
It's tripping me out to this day.
Yeah.
And look, man, at the Crypto Vigilante, people that love us will eventually maybe even hate us. You know why? Because we're the first ones to call motherfuckers out. If they fuck up, we're responsible for calling them out.
Yeah.
If Monero fucks up, we'll call Monero out. We'll be the first ones, and we want to be the first ones to call them out. So there's this project called Dero. Dero.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay.
No idea.
So it's like, it's proof of work, and it uses, it's a smart contract protocol, private by default.
Okay.
Scales on chain. So it's like a privacy Ethereum.
Okay.
Okay. It launches mainnet. It's doing pretty good. But it trips me out.
Okay.
Because I've never experienced anything like this in my life.
Yeah.
The Monero community is very skeptical about Dero, as
Okay.
they should be.
Yeah.
A lot of the pirate chain community, which is like, private by default, zero knowledge proofs, very skeptical. I like that the privacy people are very skeptical of each other. I love that so much, bro. I love that so much.
It's like you meet somebody that you align with. Like, let's say you meet another anarchist, and you're like, "Wait, is this guy a Fed?"
Exactly.
You know? It's like that,
Bro. I've been in Monero.
It's like this guy knows too much. Is he?
Oh, dude.
Either he's my best friend or he's a Fed.
That's right. That's right. I've been in Mexican standoffs before, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like when these guys get together,
Yeah.
bro. Like no, I'm talking about for real, because
Yeah.
sometimes they're strapped and
Yeah.
they're like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
And you don't know what the fuck is gonna go down, because one of them could be like, or it could just be someone very like morally corrupt that you
Yeah.
don't know, and so it's not necessarily a Fed. It could just be a fucking. So you don't know these people.
Yeah.
When finally one of them doxes himself and says, "Yo, I'm such and such."
Yeah.
You're such and such? Prove it.
Yeah.
Boom. Bro, I am such and such. What? You're such and such? Boom, prove it. Bam. And all of a sudden, bro, I see all these dudes doxing themselves in front of me.
Yeah.
And it's like a fucking brotherhood that's never met each other in real life.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Bro,
it's
like
a crazy thing.
you
I've
go
made a
from
lot
a
of friends on the
Mex-
internet. Yeah, and it's crazy.
It's like a Mexican
Yeah.
standoff
Yeah.
that ends up becoming like dudes that have been knowing each other for years.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy about crypto, man. It's
Yeah.
like,
Some of my best friends now, I met them because of during COVID. We're all locked up, right? At least in the States. And
it's not like you were in jail, dude. We were all locked up.
Yeah.
But that's
we were.
fucked up. It's the truth. Everybody was under house arrest.
Yeah.
How fucked up was
Yeah,
that?
it was- but
It's
yeah,
sad,
I mean,
right?
the two good things happen. One, people are waking up to public education, and the pitfalls of it, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I made a lot of good friends just through crypto, because I'm home all the time. I'm on Twitter, right? I'm talking to these people. I'm like, hey, we have a lot in common, and we just come.
Twitter's the enemy.
Well, maybe the platform, but
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
People
hate
on
Twitter,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the people there are cool, but
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah, I mean,
Twitter,
all these
man.
things are vices. It's like tools that you have to sometimes
have
you
to
have to
use.
use to get to where you want to go, right?
For sure, for sure.
So
So this crazy thing called Dero, and now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
remember Amir Taki? Oh, DarkFi, the dark wallet guy, Libitcoin. He
Yeah.
came back and he's creating this thing called DarkFi. It's supposed to be
Okay.
proof of stake,
Okay.
which should be like it's a rival to Dero. Anyways, but Dero's already out in the market. What these privacy by default smart contract protocols propose in the world are networks of cooperation where you create applications that are completely anonymous because they're private by default. So they're like the Monero. What Monero is to Bitcoin, these things like Dero and DarkFi are to Ethereum,
okay.
which is like, to me, is wild because I sometimes I can't fathom what the entrepreneurs are going to create out of these things. Because we're talking about platforms that provide us with the ability to do things we've never seen in the open market.
Yeah.
Businesses we've never seen. Have you ever thought about something like this? Maybe you can shine some light into this new realm of possibilities.
Let's see. I think these alternatives are similar to the dark web and what the Silk Road used to be, right? Free Albright. I'm not surprised these things are emerging, right? I can't speak to I don't know what Dero is. I haven't looked into it, so I can't speak to that. But I'm not surprised these things are emerging, and I think this is a response to the
Just
market.
imagine
Yeah.
a smart contract protocol like
Yeah, yeah.
Ethereum
Yeah.
that's private by default.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised they're emerging. It was inevitable in some sense.
Dude, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
That's
I
fucking
have
wild.
to look into it.
Yeah, so the whole thing about DeFi that we heard, that was based on transparent open ledgers.
It's 90% of what they say is DeFi is just centralized finance.
Exactly, but
Yeah,
now
it's not
we're
DeFi.
exactly.
They got admin keys. They got
Right.
They got backdoors that the codes aren't immutable. There's no audits done. There's lots of lot of junk out there.
And whenever you heard about like
Celsius, for example.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of time you heard about like these decentralized autonomous organizations. Bro, you can't be a decentralized autonomous organization based on a transparent protocol
Yeah.
that is open to mass surveillance. So for the first time in crypto history, we're about to see true DeFi in the form of DarkFi and true DAOs, because they're going to be private. That necessity of fungible interactions, private interactions, are finally going to be there. So I'm excited, man.
So if how much development is happening? Like if Dero exists, are there communities that are developing DeFi applications, or can the Ethereum versions be forked and applied?
Yeah, so there are
Yeah.
bridges that are being made right now,
Okay.
and actually I think they are made already, where you can transfer
Okay.
the code from Solidity to Dero. Yes,
Okay.
yes, and the same
okay.
thing's happening in
Is
DarkFi.
it written in Solidity? Is that
No, not Solidity. I forget. I think correct me if I'm wrong. Dero Aliens. I think it's Golang.
Oh yeah. I think Ethereum has some applications for
Yeah.
Dero as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Or I actually
Yeah.
I don't. I'm going to take that back. I don't know how it's set up, but I know that Go is used in Ethereum in some capacity. I don't know how. I'm not a programmer.
you don't need to be.
I don't need to be, and I got to see for 3 semesters in a row, and they eventually just like, hey, we're going to pass you anyway. Like, programming was.
Or
I'm a
maybe you
mechanical
are
engineer by
under another
degree.
name.
Yeah.
So
I need physical things anyway.
yeah, so we are at the precipice of a brand new realm in crypto that we've never seen.
Okay.
So I guess I answered my own question as to
Yeah,
what
you
may be
did.
the big thing in the
Yeah, for the
future.
next- yeah, I
Yo,
think
I
that
think
might be
this
it.
may be the big thing right here. So imagine everything, but in a truly decentralized but private. Because this is the thing, man. Everything that we've seen in crypto thus far that has blown up or whatever is not resistant to censorship. As much as they want to say it is, it's not, because blockchain analytics is here, has been here, and everything is open and transparent to mass surveillance. So for the first time, we're really going to start seeing, in my opinion, real cryptocurrency, man.
Yeah, I mean that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it. I'll have to do some digging around, and if there's already bridges set up, that makes things easier. I'll be able to play around and see how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure talking
Absolutely.
to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Is there anything you want to plug that maybe you're working on or whatever?
Well, I guess I'll just, the crypto I'm in, can I plug that? Is that
Sure.
cool?
Yeah.
So I'm invested in Hex, which is controversial, and I know you said that on Crypto Vigilante, you guys are okay with controversy, but
We're okay with controversy, but to be honest,
Yeah.
we're not really fans of Hex.
I
and so
get that.
our
I get that,
our
yeah.
take is there's so much going on in crypto
Yeah.
that we only focus on what we agree on being the best.
Yeah.
So even BSV, right?
Yeah.
All my dudes, all my boys into Crypto Vigilante call it a scam, and
Yeah.
that's okay, right?
A
But
scam is used way too
Right.
too much.
Right, but
Yeah.
and that's
It's
okay.
just not it's not a very descriptive term.
Right.
Anymore.
I disagree with them on BSV, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We
Yeah.
disagree. So that's that's the only point of contention that we have amongst us analysts at TCV. But when it comes to things like Hex, what does Thumper say? If you have nothing nice to say, they'll say nothing at all.
Yeah.
That's kind of our take on things.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
focus on the things that we really like.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
And best of luck
To
on
each
that.
their own. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, but I have a Twitter if you guys want to follow me on Twitter. It's Yashdeep, YASHDEEP 369. Same thing on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I don't stream too often, but I might pick that back up. So-
Throw this interview in there. Kick
Huh?
it back up with this interview. Throw it in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it. You'll put your channel in the link in the description below.
Okay, cool.
Follow him. He's a
Yeah.
cool dude. Look,
Thank you.
brave, OG, talking
you.
about crypto and his experiences and his take on things. This is very valuable, guys. We need more people to speak out. We need you guys to get out there and form communities. If you're not part of a local crypto meetup, make sure you join one. And if there's not one in your area, start one. You'd be surprised at the amazing people in your area involved in the crypto space.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate talking to you, man.